are to be in pictures.
Okay.
Oh, I should have waited to open this, damn it. Dang
You
it!
can open it anyway.
Dang it!
Shake it and open it.
Oh, yeah, good.
Oh gosh. No, what have you done? All right, 1, 2, 3. Hello everybody.
Hey, hello.
D shook up his soda before the episode started, and I was expecting something more dramatic, but it was not so.
Yeah,
It was not.
It didn't explode.
Should have had Mentos in here. That'd be interesting.
Boring. Kind of wanted an explosion. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show. Today we're doing something a little different.
Yep,
We did not go see a movie today.
we didn't because Kenny was a little baby about it.
Ooh, red.
You want to fight, D?
Yes,
Hey.
I thought that was the.
You want to fight? Hey.
Hey,
Hey. I don't think that's fair.
hey.
All right.
We didn't want to watch another movie. That was not.
We just
very
didn't want to
good.
watch movies.
Yeah.
Seriously,
We're done
guys,
watching movies.
my new thing is I'm anti-movie. I hate movies now. That's not true. I just didn't really want to see Rampage or Truth or Dare or Super Troopers 2.
Yeah, a bunch of just kind of.
I'm just not
Low
that
quality.
fun.
I saw Super Troopers 2 yesterday, actually.
And you liked it.
I would give it a good frozen pizza rating. It's like frozen pizza that you're like, hey, I had that before. That was actually really good. And I'll try it again. That was good.
Like DiGiorno or Red Baron.
He knows all about this because that's what Taylor lives off of. He eats a lot of frozen pizza.
I'd call it garlic DiGiorno.
Wow.
Wow.
There you go.
That's
I
quite-
think you're giving that movie a little too much pepperoni. Now, on to the topic at hand. So we didn't watch a movie today. Next week is Infinity Wars. We'll definitely see that and have lots of opinions. I'm kind of hoping it sucks because we'll have more fun.
That'd be fun.
I'm kind of hoping for like a catastrophic disaster of a movie.
It's not. It's going to be a good 75, 80 movie.
They're-
We're going to have very minimal things
Yeah,
to say about it.
yeah,
that.
they're so proficient at being exactly what they want to be. We probably will have nothing to say. Maybe we should just skip it too. Why live? Why live?
Why live?
Jeez.
Why live?
When there's nothing good to see, why live?
Why live?
I like it.
Are there movies to look forward to anymore?
Like this year?
Yeah.
Han Solo.
Seriously though,
Seriously? Didn't
Like-
we do a top 5?
can we just switch to TV and cover Westworld now
Yeah,
instead?
Jurassic World.
I want to do Westworld.
The second Jurassic World's coming out.
I
which
know,
I'm
and
not
I
looking
love
forward
the
to.
Jurassic Park universe so much. I've read the 2 books like 8 times, and I tolerate all the movies, even though I fully recognize that Jurassic Park 3 is horrendously bad.
Yeah, it is a
Yeah.
bad one.
Jurassic Park 2 is like salvageable because of some basically because of Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 1 though is still one of the greatest films ever made
Oh, yeah.
in my book. And I liked Jurassic World. I did like it. I thought it was rather refreshing and better than I thought it would be. And so I had high hopes for this one. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to love just seeing dinosaurs on the screen because I'm a 10-year-old boy. But the most recent trailer looked really bad. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It looks
didn't
like
watch
it looks like this movie is about Chris Pratt is friends with his Velociraptor Blue, and together they're going to team up and save the world.
That's silly.
I'm just like, oh, come on. I can't go there. I want that Velociraptor to kill Chris Pratt, like just to turn. You know, like
would
when
be
people
awesome.
get too close to their wild animals,
Yeah.
like a grizzly bear trainer
Yeah.
gets attacked and dies, and people are like, I'm so shocked, right?
Yeah.
Or those guys that did the albino tigers in Las Vegas,
Oh, yeah.
Siegfried
Siegfried
and
and
Roy.
Yeah.
And eventually they got attacked
got
by their
attacked?
tigers,
Yeah.
right? And people are like, what a shock. I can't believe it.
A wild
Attacked by a tiger. Right? That's the twist I want to see in the next Jurassic Park movie.
That'd be cool because that would kind of tie into like the theme of Jurassic Park in the first place, which is like you gotta respect nature.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would love that. Chris Pratt dies.
Cool.
At the hands of Blue.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be a good ending.
Jeff Goldblum like swings through the window on a rope and chokes out the Velociraptor.
Oh, dude, that
the
would be
end.
amazing.
The end.
That's good.
So what are we talking about?
It's all right. You may have. We still haven't got to the point. All right. Here's the point of this episode. Rotten Tomatoes sucks.
Pretty much.
That'd do.
I hate Rotten Tomatoes. We have
Well, I
talked
don't think
about.
anyone likes Rotten Tomatoes.
Waka Waka.
Waka waka.
So we've mentioned this many times in different episodes how we strongly feel that Rotten Tomatoes is the absolute wrong way to create your opinions about a movie you haven't seen. And we've always said, that's a conversation for another day. And we've decided today's the day.
Today is that day.
Today we're going to have that conversation.
Oh, jeez.
Are you ready?
Caffeine's getting to
Now, be careful. I understand the people at Rotten Tomatoes are very powerful.
Oh,
They're gonna
so
take
we
us down.
shouldn't mention then that they're our sponsor for this episode.
Oh, by the way, today's episode brought to you by Rotten Tomatoes.
That's awkward.
It is awkward,
That's a bit awkward.
but we do have a non-biased policy here.
See, that's good.
We
Yeah.
try to provide unbiased opinions. That doesn't make
What does that
sense.
mean?
I don't know if those two things even go together.
So what is the main reason as to why Rotten Tomatoes doesn't work?
Here's the main thing and so we'll just start here.
Here's the thing.
So here's the thing. People look at the score, the Rotten Tomatoes score, and they think they're looking at a grade, a 1 to 100 scale grade. So you see a movie that got 90%, and you equate that to an A grade, right? It's like it got an A. It's above 90%.
Yep.
Right? Got a score of 90-something out of 100. That's where people's mind go, and I think that's what most people believe they're seeing, but that isn't what that statistic is. Rotten Tomatoes score is an accumulation of pass and fail grades. They take all the different critics and decide whether or not their review was green or red, right? Green smoosh meaning bad, red being good, with no gradient there. It's just one or the other.
Yep.
And then the score then is what percentage of those critiques were on the good side, which means you could have a movie that everyone universally agrees is like a C+ movie, would have close to 100% Rotten Tomato score.
Right.
Because it wasn't
That's
terrible.
the problem.
Right.
It's far too generous to movies that actually are not good.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people get in their head that like when A Quiet Place comes out and it's like an all right to average horror movie, like I guess slightly
Right.
above average horror movie,
And it has the same tomato score as The Shining.
Yeah, it's
Right.
lauded as
Right.
a masterpiece because people see that high number and they're like, "Wow!"
Well, or that's what we see anyway, because
Yeah.
we see the huge number and we're like, it's not a masterpiece, but that's also not what the Rotten Tomatoes score is saying.
True. Yeah. So
It's funny because we talk about movies like that from 1 to 100 also, but we don't talk about it on Rotten Tomatoes scale. We just seem to use the same kind of gradation. Like I just said, what do you call it? Infinity War will probably be a 75-80 movie. Like that's how we think about movies nowadays. And
yeah,
yeah.
it's just a big misconception
Yeah.
for how Rotten Tomato is supposed to be used. Like I like to look at it for big movies just because I like
It's
the general
interesting.
consensus.
Yeah.
Right. It's like
Right.
vague.
It's interesting, but
consensus of a
it
film.
misleads people.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
misleading.
thing.
Yeah.
It's very misleading because it makes movies that are simply proficient are made out to be excellent.
Yeah.
The movies that just are passing, they're doing all the things you're supposed to do in a movie, are getting the A+. It's the equivalent of giving all the kids in Little League a trophy for participation.
That is
Yeah.
that's the equivalent of that. Right?
That's what I feel like. And it dismantles the age-old tradition of the film critic. Whereas in the past, if you wanted to be a film critic, which by the way, I don't consider myself or us as film critics, that's a very specific thing. If you want to find a real one, there's very few left in this world, but Matthias Bombal is a real one.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
But the idea of a film critic was that if you wanted to be one, you'd have to go get a job with a newspaper somewhere and establish a voice for yourself. And then people would choose you as your critic because you best aligned with their ideas of what a good movie is, right? So they could go through this one trusted source to help them understand, I want to see it, I don't want to see it. If this guy liked it, I know I like that. Where that's thrown out the window, all the critics are lumped together and turned into a number. And we're supposed to believe that number has some kind of... Yeah. Okay, it's actually not turned into a number, is it? We take each one...
It's the popularity.
Interpret it into a pass-fail.
Right.
And then lump all the pass-fails together to make a number.
Right. And so when you see like 90%, you don't think the movie... It shouldn't be thought of as this movie is 90%. It's 90% of people agree that the movie was good.
Yeah.
Actually, 90% of the people agreed it was better than bad.
Right.
It's not that it's good. Because if you read the whole... That's the other thing, is that if you read the entire reviews of these critics who are labeled with just a red or a green, you find that many of them are very nuanced, where they'll say, here's my 3 paragraphs of what I liked about it, and here's my 3 paragraphs of what I didn't think worked, and then someone arbitrarily says, that's a red tomato.
So how is that decided?
I don't know.
Who decides that? Because I've read some fresh reviews with the tomato next to it when you scroll down on a movie that could have been just as easily a rotten,
tomato.
Yeah, and it's like
I don't know. I wonder how.
I don't get.
I would assume that they would do it themselves.
Yeah,
I've also seen
the reviewer.
Would
choose.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Would that make more sense?
That does make sense.
Rotten Tomatoes is affecting the filmmaking and watching experience in other ways too, though. And one of those is that the Rotten Tomato score has now become a part of marketing.
Right.
Well, see, it has.
And it's become important. And why does that matter? Why that matters is because now, as a filmmaker, Rotten Tomato score has an impact. I have to have the Rotten Tomato score. How do I get a Rotten Tomato score? A good one. How do I get a certified fresh? Is it by being ambitious? Is it by being inventive, creative, by pushing the boundaries of storytelling? No, it's by playing it safe.
Yeah.
It's by going for the C+. It's what gets you the 90.
It's a great statistic for businesses out there that are looking to push movies out, like Blumhouse, like just trying to get a movie, push it out, get a movie, push it out.
Except their latest movie got 17%.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. Blumhouse actually has a decent track record for their genre.
Yeah. Well, it's different, I think, because they have such a small studio thing. We talked about this before about how in lower budget. There we go. Lower budget movies have kind of a better intuition about them when people are directing them, because of limitations and whatnot. But I was gonna say something and I forgot what it was.
Boo.
Surprise.
He should have drank a mate.
Instead, I have this. That's not mate.
We were not affiliated.
So the score that they use is very good for businesses because it shows them that, like, if a movie isn't polarizing, because like if a movie is polarizing, something like Mother, right? It's going to get a very low Rotten Tomatoes score because so many people on both sides are going both up and down. And because of that, you get a low score. So it's better to have something that's very safe, something that has a very C+ kind of okay value, something like the big movies that have come out as of late, like Star Wars.
Or Marvel.
Or Marvel movies, right. So it is a very safe score, or it's a very safe system.
Yeah.
And that raises the point exactly. A movie like Mother, right? Mother very polarizing. So you have far extremes of opinions. Its critic score is actually pretty good considering how polarizing that film is. But that's a type of movie where a lump score just does you no good at all.
Yeah.
You'd be better off finding out what a guy like David Del Valle said about it,
right.
or Clark Wolf, people who specialize in a genre. Go hear what they think about it, and maybe if you like that type of movie, you'd have an informed opinion now.
Yeah, personalized scores is what needs to happen. It's like if you're like, the reason why I always watch what's his name? Your Movie Sucks.
Yeah.
YMS.
yourmoviesucks.org. His videos typically talk about why storytelling in a movie doesn't work, and I really, really respect that about him as a reviewer. So when he reviews a movie and says it's good, I'm probably going to go see it. And when he reviews a movie and says it's bad, I'm probably not going to see it. And it's because it's based on my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And it really meshes well with me.
And we live in a time where there's a lot of ways in which a film reviewer could get their voice out there, right? So you would think now would be like the time of opportunity,
Right.
For like hobbyist film critics. But the new like gold standard, the bar they're all shooting for, is to become a freaking Rotten Tomatoes certified critic,
Yeah.
right? And it's affecting the way they review movies. Everyone's trying to write a first line of review that's catchy and sounds sound clippy so that it'll be posted on the top
All of them.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
And you know what's funny is that not even all of them are actual, like, I hate to say actual critics, but people
say it.
but people who are not doing this as a profession. People who are like what was it, the blogs that you were talking about? People who just run these blogs and have become a certified type of
Yeah. Some are just like Entertainment Weekly, right? They put out stories about movies. They're not actual critics,
right?
But the blogger who covers movies on Entertainment Weekly shows up on Rotten Tomatoes as a certified reviewer. Stupid.
How hard is it? It's probably not that hard to get certified critic.
That'd be interesting. I wonder how hard it is.
I don't think it'd be that hard at all. You'd probably just need to take
hack it.
Yeah, you probably just need a few articles
I don't
published in some random website.
I don't want to hack Rotten Tomatoes. I want to destroy Rotten Tomatoes. Do you hear me? Rotten Tomatoes?
Our sponsor for this episode.
Thank you for your support. We're taking you down. I'm coming. Rotten Tomatoes is the worst.
That being said,
They're the worst.
we were talking earlier how these positive movies, or movies that are seen as fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, are generally, you can't really know what to expect. If it's like a 90, it could still be kind of eh.
Right.
But generally, when movies are rotten, like sub 30, they typically are pretty bad movies.
Right. And it's because only that percentage of people liked the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
right. Very small amount.
Right. So if it says a movie's really bad, it's usually right. But the real problem is that it gives so many movies a score of good that are not good.
Yeah.
So for instance, Rampage has become the top video game rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes with 53% or something like that, 51%.
It's the first to break the Mendoza line.
Yeah. The Mendoza line. But I'm sure the movie itself isn't good at all, right?
Sure.
We can't. I'm sure none of us have seen it, but I can assume that it's a semi-safe movie, something like Tomb Raider,
Right.
You know?
So the funny thing is that to get a rating on Rotten Tomatoes, to get a certified fresh rating, you actually don't need that many reviews to come up with that score. It's usually based on between 40 and 80 reviews. And then, so we have this number that's based on 40 to 80 film critics' opinions about a movie. And then right next to it is an audience score. And the audience score is usually based on 200,000 people, sometimes more, right? Audience members are you and me. You directly relate to this group of people if you're an average film goer. If you're an average film goer, you probably don't relate to film critics.
Right.
Film critics are weird.
Right.
All right? And yet we put all this weight into this score that's based on 40 to 80 people's opinion, when right there we have an audience score made from your peers and 200,000 people. That's a big sample, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not held as the same weight.
Right.
And sometimes they're drastically different.
Way different.
Yeah.
Last Jedi.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
Star Wars The Last
insane.
Jedi being
Because so many people...
I couldn't believe.
Yeah. That's 91 critics and then like 40 audience or something like that.
Hey, and is Rotten Tomatoes starting to feel kind of like the mafia to you? Like they have too much power?
So,
a little bit.
I mean, so Yelp was kind of like this before, right? Where they would... I don't know if Rotten Tomatoes has pulled this kind of power move before, but I know Yelp has and MoviePass has also, where they talk about their influence and therefore use their influence to try to move businesses into a way that's better for them.
That's why this episode will never air. YouTube's going to shut it down. Well, what I mean is that right now, if you have a good Rotten Tomatoes score, then you want it to show up on Rotten Tomatoes 3 weeks before your movie comes out.
Yeah.
But there appears to be some magical way of keeping your Rotten Tomatoes score from appearing on Rotten Tomatoes if your movie happens to be bad.
Yeah.
Well, I think
that's like that's been done for a long time.
Really, the last year.
Embargoes.
Well, it's been like a thing where movie makers don't, like, if they feel like they haven't hit their mark with their movie, that they won't release it to reviewers. And because reviewers don't have the review copy, they don't make a review.
Yeah.
And so therefore, like, Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have a score.
But well, I'm talking about films that have had press screenings. Films that have had press screenings, but the score on Rotten Tomatoes is being withheld. I've seen many times.
Yeah, that's done. I think that's a review. That's a review embargo, though. It is typically a sign of a bad movie, but I think
it's only bad movies that do it.
Yeah, but I don't think it's necessarily Rotten Tomatoes doing that. I think that's the studio saying, "Hey, if you're watching this, you can't say anything about it until this date."
Yeah,
and that's why there's no score for it on Rotten
I do
Tomatoes.
think Rotten Tomatoes has a power move that they can play, and I'm not sure if they do. I'm sure if
What's that?
Well, like you said, like if you like being able to say that we influence lots of audiences to go buy your movie afterwards or go see it in the theaters. To have that amount of influence is really easy to do something with. But I haven't heard any like big stories about them doing anything with it. So at least that's good.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that generally at any given time, if you look up, so the screen usually has two columns. This side is all the reviews of movies, and on this side right next to it is all the TV shows. And generally, on the movie side, 2/3 of the content is green to half, usually more than half, are rotten. But on the TV side, almost everything is fresh. It's interesting.
People like TV.
I haven't noticed.
TV's kicking cinema's butt.
I've
in quality.
In quality as of late, definitely with something like Netflix going.
I seem to find that if there's a movie I'm looking forward to, and the reviews come out and it has like a 65 to like 70 Rotten Tomato score, I get more excited for the movie.
Yeah,
because it's polarizing.
It's polarizing,
yeah.
right?
And I like when movies are like that.
Yeah, I think anything between 40 and 65.
Yeah,
it's like that polarizing type of feel. What did Mother get on Rotten Tomatoes?
I think it was like 70.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Oh, really?
I think I think it was in.
It was surprising.
What's another polarizing movie that came out? Blade Runner.
Mother got 69%. Its audience score was 50%.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
50-50.
Yeah.
I actually think that 50% is generous.
A little generous, yeah.
Blade Runner 2049.
That one was revered.
Critics love it, and I love it. 87%. But I bet the audience score's lower. No, it's pretty high. 81.
Wow.
87, 81.
No one saw it. It's
Just no one
because
saw it?
everyone who saw it were the Blade Runner
Is that what it
fans.
was? Yeah.
The Blade
I
Runner
love that
fan
movie
base
so
saw it 3
much.
times each,
Right.
and it wasn't close to enough. Yeah,
Right.
That Last Jedi
that one's insane.
is really funny, actually. Last Jedi, 91%
That's absurd.
is the rating by critics.
Wow.
I don't understand
The
that at
audience
all.
score is 47%.
Wow. I would think that would be
And you
backwards.
know, but the reason why,
Opposite.
but think about it.
Yeah.
If I was held, at gunpoint and said pass fail, right? If I had to just decide, okay, is more of this movie good than bad? I'm right on that line, I mean, some of the visuals and the battle is
Yeah.
really cool.
I
There's some
think it's
really
also just because it's Star Wars.
yeah, and it's Star Wars.
So it has
Right.
enough of that's kind of cool, and it's Star Wars that it'll be pass.
But I mean, that's so you're saying more critics decided to say, yeah, it's good.
I'm saying that more critics probably let off their their first paragraph in their review was about that this was fun. It was Star Wars. And then they started nitpicking.
That's interesting. Yeah, because if I were to, like me personally, if I had to give this a grade, it would be like a C+. But because I gave it a C+, that means
That's a
fresh.
red tomato.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. I'm actually going to go on record right now because in our episode 8 review, I said that I liked it, and I don't like it anymore.
I've liked
I would
it
give
less
it a-
and less
yeah.
since the first time I watched.
I would give it
the
a
first time I
fail.
watched it, I was pretty upset actually. I mean,
Yeah.
I walked out of the theater and I said, "Freaking Mary Poppins, what?"
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That was the worst. Like I'm just like what? Anyway, we have a whole episode that's like 2 hours long. You can go listen
On that,
to it.
yeah. That's a good
But yeah, 47% from the audience. That's an F.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one is an F because
Well-
it's
I think it's because that particular movie anyway, it made a lot of decisions about the Star Wars universe that people came out against, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's why it had such a crazy audience score.
By the way, the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is based on a scale of 1 to 5.
Really?
It's not a
That's weird.
it's not a pass fail
So
like
critics
the other
can only
one
give
is.
pass fail, and audiences give
Well,
more
no,
nuance.
the critics don't give pass fail. If you read their individual reviews, they're not saying thumbs up or thumbs down.
Right, but an aggregate of it.
Yeah, it's
is.
Rotten Tomatoes that's turning it into this pass fail.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
I'd like it better. Still,
It's not
you know
just
what's
weird, D. It's wrong.
Well, what's weird about it also
Wrong.
is that, like, in order to get a Rotten Tomato, like, you have to have under 50%, right? Is that what it is?
Actually, they break it all down right here.
It's 60. Under 60.
Here's the tomato
Under
meter.
60?
Fresh is 60% or higher.
Wow.
So the rotten is below 60%. Certified fresh are movies and TV shows
That are very
that
popular.
have 75% or higher after a set amount of reviewers review the movie.
So it's the popular good movies that get certified fresh stuff,
Yes.
and like just the good movies that are not so popular.
Well, that's why you might see some movies that have 90% but are not certified fresh.
Yeah.
And that's because they have under 80 reviews.
Right.
See, I've seen some people, again, like the reviews amount of people, like the amount of critics who review movies is not that many. It's like 300 is like a lot on Rotten Tomatoes. And so like I've seen people boast about a movie they like by saying, look, it's got 100%. But then like if you look down, it says like 11 reviews.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm like 11 people liked this movie.
IMDb has that too,
Yeah.
where before a movie comes out, people will rate it, and it's like 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
and they're like, what?
Well, but it's funny how many people jump on that. Like the media jumps on that, and
Yeah.
it's dishonest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right after A Quiet Place debuted at Cannes, reviews started showing up on the Rotten Tomatoes, and at this point it was less than a dozen reviews.
Right.
But 5 or 6 articles all mentioned, and it's holding steady at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow.
Literally 5 people liked it.
Oh man. Yeah, so it's bad for the artist. It's bad for the artistic nature of movies.
So, okay, we've dumped on Rotten Tomatoes. Should we let's give some, like, something constructive here. What if someone wants to try to form an opinion before watching a movie, what should they do? Or should we even be trying to form opinions before watching a movie?
Okay, you know how Netflix and Facebook and most of these social media outlets are, or not outlets, social media type of things, platforms, base ads and content on machine learning of what your opinions are.
Yeah, right? That they have a referral engine.
Right. So that needs to be taken, like that needs to happen with reviews. You know, everything needs to be customized to the single person, to what I would think about this movie, what you would think about this movie, not what audiences around the world have said, but just about the individual. You know,
I definitely don't think. I don't think you should be trying to form opinions before you watch a movie.
That's what I'm starting to feel is like, why
form expectations though.
I don't even think you should have expectations. I don't think you should have any expectations.
You shouldn't, but people do.
Yeah.
People want to.
But I think you should not want to. I think you should actively be trying to not have expectations for going to see a movie. I think, like, it's only natural to, if you know a series and a new movie's coming out, of course you're going to have expectations for it.
Yeah.
Or if you know a certain director and their style, you're going to have a certain set of expectations for it. But to be open-minded with those expectations, where it gets dangerous is when people start saying, this movie is amazing, this movie is amazing, this movie is a masterpiece, it has 95% on Rotten Tomato, all these good reviews. You're going to go into it thinking a very, very specific kind of expectation that won't be fulfilled because you're an individual who is not all those other people. You're going to have a different, unique opinion.
So you're saying that the good movies, according to Rotten Tomatoes, are the things that make bad experiences?
Yeah.
But not necessarily the bad ones.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I think the best way to do it is find, again, like we were saying earlier, find a critic that you like who has similar opinions to you and just stick with them, or just know what your tastes are and not look at any reviews and just go see movies.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think that we should largely stop asking others to think for us and to decide if you like something by sampling it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like, if you're teaching your child how to eat food, you make them eat it before they can say they don't like it.
Yeah.
Try it before you knock it.
Yeah, you gotta build your tastes.
I mean, let's have our own brains, right? Let's keep our own brains and our own opinions. And I mean, imagine if we did this for all art forms.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now there is critique for plays. That's a thing. There's technically critique for restaurants, but I don't know who reads restaurant reviews anymore. I mean, really?
That's true.
In LA, the only critique for restaurants is what letters in the window. You drive by and you're like, ooh, they got a C. Don't eat there. They got rats. But like if a museum of like interpretive art was telling you this art is not good, right? It could be like, what? I'll decide if this art is good.
That's
right?
exactly it. Yeah. The individual needs to decide for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the best way to do that is to go in cold turkey. Just does that even make sense?
Cold turkey.
Yeah.
So
that's like stopping.
So cold turkey, like no critics. I'm quitting critics.
Quitting critics.
Cold turkey.
Going in
blind.
Blind.
Unexpectation. You have not been defiled
Unjaded.
by the opinions of others.
You know, this is funny. This is why I hate trailers, right? I hate watching trailers for movies that I want to see because they just because I saw that little part, now I'm starting to build some expectations, and I don't want to do that. I didn't watch any trailer going into Mother, and I'm so happy I didn't.
Yeah,
You know?
because that's a big difference.
I'd really like to learn about upcoming movies through print.
Yeah.
I think like that'd be the best way, is if you read like Christopher Nolan is making a movie about the crisis at Dunkirk.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
that-
right.
yeah, that's
and
my
he's
favorite
doing
way.
this thing with 70mm cameras, and it's a very inventive timeline, sort of experimental thing. If I just read that, I'd be like, I'm first in line.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's my favorite way to do it too. Just find directors that I like, and then when they announce they're working on something new, like I heard they were doing Phantom Thread when PTA was doing that, and he was like, he's doing Daniel Day-Lewis is in it, and it's a period piece about fashion. I was like, sure, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't know anything going into that movie,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Blade Runner.
use your own brain.
Blade Runner, yeah.
Denis was directing that, and I had seen Arrival already. And I was like, oh. Yes.
Yeah, and I hadn't really seen any press for Blade Runner when I
Yeah.
went and saw it either.
Yeah. I knew it was coming out. I did see some trailers, though, but they were mostly visual.
Occasionally you get a trailer that is exactly what it should be and also doesn't spoil the movie.
Yeah.
I felt like The Shape of Water was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Like
did a
it
really
was
good job.
the trailer for Shape of Water was so true to the character of the movie that it just
Well-
felt like we were. It felt like beginning the movie just a few minutes early.
The
Yeah.
one that we saw was, because there's several different kinds.
Oh,
of
there's a
trailers.
horror one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is.
So-
There's one trailer that's like totally feels like a horror movie.
Yeah,
That's
so
weird.
Amy saw that one, and I said she knew that I wanted her to see that movie, and she's like, I don't want to see that. like it looked horrifying, and yeah,
Right, and then we've been making fun of A Quiet Place for months because it has a horrible trailer.
right,
The trailer made
It's
that movie
completely
look
gimmicky.
really bad.
yeah,
And it was a fine movie. It was good.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
yeah,
So like you can't trust trailers. I mean, Pacific Rim 2, that trailer was awesome. Right? Don't you guys agree?
It
No?
was.
You know, actually, the Pacific
Evan.
Pacific Rim, the first one, had a terrible trailer too.
Did it?
Yeah, even though I really wanted to see that movie, and then I saw the trailer. I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to see the movie.
I wish that Jurassic Park had omitted all of this Blue as a sidekick storyline from their latest trailer, because that oh man,
I wanna talk about trailers in like maybe another episode or something.
we should have a trailer episode.
But I have a lot of opinions about trailers because
Yeah.
I spent 2 years making them. So.
Right. Well, in our current conversation, what we're talking about is preparing yourself to see a movie,
Right.
right?
Right.
And deciding whether or not you want to see one. Which really, how hard is that of a choice in the world of Movie Pass?
Like, that's the
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, just go see the movie.
Just go see it.
Yeah.
Just spend
Get
2
a
hours.
Movie Pass.
Yeah.
Go and like if you don't like it, just leave.
Right.
Yeah, it's-
That's
you
it.
lose-
Just
You could
leave.
just leave.
You lose nothing.
That's exactly it.
I mean, the barriers to entry are pretty low nowadays.
I mean, and in the future, which will happen, we will have streaming boxes for, of some sort, or a program or an app for streaming theatrical releases.
yeah.
And then people can just try it there at their house. Should I watch it? Let's see what the Rotten Tomatoes score is. Like, no, you're just gonna watch it real quick.
Yeah,
you know?
and see like, oh, I didn't like the first 10 minutes.
Like,
so
how
I'm
many
not-
people go on Netflix, see there's a new show, and be like, before I click play, let me go on the computer, let me... like,
That's
I
true.
don't think that's
Yeah.
going to go away.
That's true. When you have instant access, that does change everything.
That is the whole point of reviewers and Rotten Tomatoes. It is to
It's
to
because
make
you have
an-
to get up and go
Yeah,
someplace.
you have to get up. You have to pay money and
That
go
Right.
is exactly it.
and- yeah.
Wow.
If people have to get up and leave their house, then they want to make sure they're not wasting their time.
Right. Actually, your brother, who just walked in, just said that one time. He wanted to make sure that the movie was going to be a fun time.
Yeah. Well,
Because he was spending money on a babysitter, and he's
Sure.
going to go out.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Huge
well, I'm effectively
involvement.
spending $50 to go see a movie. movie better be good.
Yeah, I get that. So in that case, if that's the case, don't trust Rotten Tomatoes. Find a trusted reviewer.
Your own, yeah.
Find a
someone who
reviewer
likes-
that you believe in,
Yeah,
who has
someone-
similar opinions.
Exactly, similar opinions.
Yes, because if you just leave it up to the tomato meter, well, the fact is, this is the reason Rotten Tomatoes is probably here to stay until we replace them with something better or stage some kind of militant uprising. Is that Rotten Tomatoes is good for a certain type of movie, right? A good example of that type of movie is the whole Marvel universe,
Yeah.
right? And most people love those movies. And Rotten Tomatoes tells them that those movies are good. You see, it's like a feedback loop.
Yeah.
And so that's the
Validation.
reason Rotten Tomatoes isn't going anywhere, because most of the public is watching this video going right now going, these guys are idiots. Rotten Tomatoes tells me that a movie's good, and then I see it, and it's good.
Right.
But if you watch the rest of our episodes, you should know that these movies that you think are good suck. They're not good.
See, the thing is,
You're
you're
wrong.
actually wrong.
You're wrong. All that stuff we said about individual opinion, wrong.
Your opinions?
What a twist.
Actually not.
This is the twist of the episode. We're here to tell you what to think now. Don't watch Marvel.
You sheeple.
You are meh, meh.
Scores like aggregate scores breed mediocrity. And we're against mediocrity.
Yes.
That's what this is about.
I don't want mediocre.
Right.
I want the best.
But there's a lot of people that are very cool with it. That's why it'll stay, like you said.
Mediocre minds. Like mediocre movies.
We're movie enthusiasts because we're filmmakers. There are a lot of people who just don't care that much about movies.
Yeah, well, they think movies are just like for their entertainment.
So there you go.
What do you think a movie is? Just something that's here to amuse you? Is that what you think?
That was the last 5 minutes of our episode. Just like
Attacking our
attacking
viewers.
our own episode. Like everything that you just heard does not matter.
We've decided to alienate.
Well, because the irony of this
Yes.
conversation is that we have a show where we talk about our opinions of a movie.
Right.
However, the difference is we are not trying to inform someone's opinion before they see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been very clear in our episodes that these are conversations you have after the movie.
Yeah.
We spoil everything that's in the film. If you haven't seen it yet, we just ruined it for you. Nor would you even like the episode if you haven't seen the movie, really.
Right.
Unless you just like looking at our faces.
That's fine.
By the way,
that's cool.
That's cool.
Spoilers for Rotten Tomatoes.
Don't go see Rotten Tomatoes.
If you haven't seen the platform Rotten Tomatoes before, we may have spoiled how it works. Yes.
Do yourself a favor. Just don't ever go to Rotten Tomatoes.
So, but that is the difference, right? We're not telling people what movies to see. We're talking about movies after. We're even seeing them. We're living what we preach here. We're watching the movies we don't like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Except for today.
Yeah.
Except for today,
We're all afraid of Rampage.
I couldn't bring myself to watch Rampage or Truth or Dare.
It probably made for
Truth or Dare.
a good episode.
I watched YMS's review of Truth or Dare. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Was he going off on it?
Yeah, dude, like this movie. I kind of want to see it now. I kind of want to see it so we can do some script writing analysis. Yeah. I'm not sure if I want to though.
I don't.
It's not enjoyable.
New. All right, so next week is
Avengers.
Infinity War.
That's a big one.
Wow.
Looking forward to hating that.
Amy and I were going to do the whole binge thing
Oh, really?
Of the whole Marvel
of
universe.
the Marvel universe before we go to Infinity War.
Sounds
Tiresome?
kinda
make
terrible.
You want to die by the end.
Nah, I mean it's about the experience.
Yeah.
I'm not watching those for the movie. I'm watching it because I'm watching it with my wife.
Aww.
the week
Taylor's
after.
making fun of me because he doesn't have a wife.
Oh. Taylor's just
That's okay.
jaded
I
because
don't either.
he's never known love.
Once again, pointing that out.
Oh, he has a wife. We talked about this.
It's Helga.
Yeah.
She left me though.
There's, I'm very sorry. There's not another good movie until May 18th.
Maybe we should
It's
start.
based on your expectations of what?
Yeah. What do you know? You can't form an opinion off of a movie before
You know,
you've even seen it.
so
What are you
is
looking
it-
at? Rotten Tomatoes or something?
No. I just look at titles.
He's like looking at Rotten
What are you,
Tomatoes right now.
sheeple?
Looks like this one's at 90, so. I kind of want to see Deion Taylor's Traffic. Because
Because he's your homeboy.
No, because he has such a vision. Like
Yeah.
his movies are his movies. So
Well, I like that.
I'm interested to see.
I'd go
Good or
see
bad?
Traffic.
I like that. I'll
Just
see
for the sake
Traffic.
of, Sacramento stuff.
Yeah, 'cause I used to work there, man.
Yeah.
Didn't get paid for it.
Yeah, it was intern.
Intern.
Very nice.
I made some titles.
Cool.
Actually, I worked on the Chain Letter movie.
Solo, a Star Wars movie.
Taylor's like, great.
Can't wait.
Titles.
Titles. That's cool.
Hey, what if the week that Solo comes out, we instead watch Future World?
What is Future World? That sounds
It's
awesome.
James Franco directed R-rated movie that looks very much like a sequel to Fury Road.
Yes.
It's this post-apocalyptic.
Yes. That sounds great. I don't
Yeah.
want to watch
Yeah.
Solo.
Let's do that.
We should watch this and do our episode about it.
In protest. of
Just
Han
ignore
Solo.
Han Solo
Yeah.
altogether.
All of our fans will love us for it.
Our one fan.
We have some fans.
Well, maybe
46 subs.
it
Wait,
has.
3 subs.
Oh.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
And half of those are family. And the other half are for our tutorials.
But that's okay. We don't do it for the subs. We don't do it for the YouTube revenue.
Glory.
We're not making money off YouTube. We have sponsors.
Right.
And this episode is brought to you
No,
by
no,
Del
Rotten
Tacos.
Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes is sponsoring us.
They've already pulled out.
Oh, mid-episode?
Wow.
Yeah,
they
so
really-
we're live streaming. And they said they texted me.
Oh, they texted
They
you.
said, "Forget it, we're done."
Did they blacklist Carmeline Studios future feature films?
To be decided.
Oh.
So our new, we're Del Taco's famous fries, not internet famous, but real famous
Just
from
like-
Del Taco.
I love that.
Thanks, Del Taco, for your support. You keep our tummies full and our brains ticking.
You guys don't know, our viewers don't know how much we rely on Del Taco to keep ourselves running.
There are a few things that we could legitimately say sponsor us.
Yeah.
Yerba Mate, Del Taco, Movie Pass. Sustain us.
Yeah.
They sustain us.
Although I'm kind of becoming a little angry at Movie Pass
Why is that?
because they flex their power.
Ooh.
I think we have a new topic for another episode. We could talk about Movie Pass. Is it from heaven or is it from hell? Next time on the Talkies.
We have like a preview of our future episode.
And then we're just gonna cover like Avengers next week.
Movie Pass, Godsend or Spawn of the Devil?
I want
You
to see Venom.
decide. No, don't
Speaking
decide.
of good trailers, Venom.
Venom, yay! I like Tom Hardy. You know, he's good.
Tom Hardy's good.
He is good.
In fact, the character Venom is kind of cool.
yeah.
The design of Venom is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what it looks like in the movie.
You wouldn't know from the
You
trailer.
wouldn't know from the trailer.
Tom Hardy has had several roles in which he appears shirtless with a very amazing body.
And that marks the 4th time Kenny talks about
Maybe
the
fifth,
upper
even.
portion of a
This
man.
kind of stuff motivates me, man. I love seeing a chiseled man because I'm just like, whoa, life goals.
Need that in my
right
life.
there.
Yeah,
I need some of that.
I need some of that.
He needs some of that.
Well, whew, caught me again.
Until next time,
He's D.
you're Kenny.
And Who are you?
Who's that guy?
Who is this guy over here?
I'm Bluephoric.
Kenny D. Taylor are out. See you at the talkies.
See you at the talkies.
Just not this week. Arr. Rotten Tomatoes sucks. You suck, Rotten Tomatoes.
Drop it.
You suck. I'm coming to get you, Rotten Tomatoes. You are irrelevant. You do not represent me. You do not represent.
Who are you talking to?
There's no one there.
No one over there.
Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, brother. Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna come run wild all over. Rotten Tomatoes. I'm coming to get you. You better watch out.
You need much more of a red face.
Whoa!
You ought to be in pictures. You're wonderful to see. You ought to be in pictures. Oh, what a hit you would be. Your voice would thrill a nation.